Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am MJ James, a non-binary, queer, and autistic science fiction fantasy author. Today I'm excited to take you behind the scenes of my upcoming book, Birk, the third installment in the Ember Town series. We're diving into how I approached writing a non-binary protagonist, the challenges, the joys, and why representation like this matters in fantasy. So let's get started. So, for those of you who don't know, Birk follows the story of a non binary nymph who's been cast out of their home after being outed as being agender. Without access to their tree, a vital part of their identity and survival, and with the loss of their family, Birk must find a new way to navigate life in the town of Ember and discover who they are beyond what others have defined for them. The book explores themes of identity, survival, and chosen family, all through the lens of a queer protagonist. Burke is a character who is deeply personal to me. Like many queer people, my family was less than accepting when I transitioned. However, more than that, society is not accepting. I wanted to write someone who finds their identity and fights for themselves while also finding a support network that supports them for being exactly who they are. I think it is important to create stories where readers can see themselves represented, especially in genres like science fiction and fantasy. Too often, fantasy is either very masculine or, more commonly now, is more romanticy. And each of these aspects of fantasy are great contributions to the genre as a whole. But they tend to default to binary gender roles or skip over nuanced explorations of identity altogether. By writing Burke, I wanted to push against those boundaries and show that queer, non binary people belong in these worlds too. When I write non binary characters, it's not just about checking a representation box, it's about telling stories that are connected on a deeply human level. With Burke, it was a chance to explore the unique perspective of a nymph grappling with expectations of society that are contrary to who they are. It's a theme I think anyone can relate to in one way or another. Writing Burke came with its own challenges and joys. One of the challenges was staying authentic. As a non binary author, I wanted Burke's identity to feel real and multifaceted, not just a label. And that meant digging deep into their emotional struggles and their triumphs. I also worked with readers to ensure that I wasn't letting my own experiences to completely overshadow Burke's unique journey. One of my favorite parts was seeing Burke discover the world. It gave a fresh perspective to not only Ember but also humanity. I was able to bring in more community and more world building for the town of Ember, and I'm especially proud of developing two side characters who showed up as just a mention in the first book, Lucas, and have now their own identities and personalities and desires. They are the sweetest people. I didn't want Burke's story to be solely about their identity. While it is a key part of the narrative, the book also focuses on survival, self discovery, and relationships. Striking that balance took a lot of rewriting and reflection. The relationships that Burke builds in Ember are some of my favorite parts of the book. Writing about chosen family was not only cathartic, but also a reminder of how important community is when we're figuring out who we are. If you're a writer looking at including non binary characters in your stories, I have a full video available that I will link here. However, I do want to provide some tips in this video as well. One, do your research. Read books by non-binary authors, listen to our stories, and familiarize yourself with the diverse experiences within the community. Work with sensitivity readers. Even if you're non-binary yourself, other perspectives can catch things you might miss and help redefine your characters. Non-binary people are not a monolith. Make sure your character is fully fleshed out with their own personality and goals and flaws. Do not just create that shadowy figure without a physical form. Instead of over-explaining your character's identity, let it come through naturally in their actions, thoughts, and relationships. While their identity is important, make sure to make your character robust. They are more than just being non-binary. Non-binary people are just as diverse as any other group. Birk comes out on February 1st, and I'm so excited to share this story with you. Leading up to the release, I'll be sharing more behind the scenes content, including sneak peeks at the book and world building thoughts. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in these videos, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for spending time with me today and letting me share a little bit about Birk.